Grace to you, good people. Hebrews 11:27 on your bread of life today, and I'm going to read the New King James. The Bible says, by faith he forsook Egypt, talking about Moses, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible, as seeing him who is invisible. And that's the title for your word today, seeing him who is invisible. And I have a whole sermon on this on my YouTube channel. You can find it, and I believe that it will bless you. Okay, now, what does this really mean, as seeing him who is invisible? Because I believe it's an experience that you ought to also have before you come out and do the things that God has told you. Because the Bible says that when Christ, who is our life, appears, then we also shall appear with him in the splendor of his glory. But you've got to first have that experience that Moses had, which we're going to see today. Okay, now, maturity in Christianity is not in the number of years you have been saved or born again, but in the experiences you have had with God, experiences that you have with God. Because you could be born again for 30 years and you speak the same, you talk the same, you act the same, you think the same. You've never grown. That's not maturity. Yet somebody can give their life to Christ in just 2-3 years. You will see the change and the transformed life. So why? Because this person has had experiences and they've known God a certain way, which the other person for 30-40 years has not experienced. So don't tell me your maturity is in a number of years if it's not by the experiences that you have with God. But for you to have those experiences, you have to endure as seeing him who is invisible. That's exactly what I'm talking to us today. Now, it's through such experiences that time is redeemed, because they come with God's redemptive power to manifest the things seen in the spirit. You have to first see them in the spirit. Healing is first seen in the spirit. You first experience healing in the spirit before it is made manifest in the body. That's the law of translation. That's just how God works, and that's just the way of the spirit. Hebrews 11:3, you can read. Okay, now, such was the case with Moses. He had his eye on the one no eye can see. And the source of his strength came from the experiences he had from within and not from without. Now, we must understand what seeing is, because that's what I want to explain to us. The Greek word for seeing is horao. Okay? By implication, horao means to discern clearly. By extension, to attend to. By Hebraism, to experience. And passively, to appear. So in other words, as seeing him, Moses discerned the invisible Christ. Moses attended to the visible Christ. He experienced the invisible Christ. The invisible Christ appeared to him. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That is seeing him who is invisible. In other words, in just simple definition, horao means I was seen. It means showed myself. It means appeared, to see. Okay, to become acquainted with by experience. In other words, it means to experience. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So according to our theme text, the invisible Christ was seen by Moses. He showed himself to Moses. He appeared to Moses, and Moses was well acquainted with him by experience. He experienced the invisible Christ. He experienced Christ himself in the realm of the Spirit. Ultimately, Moses first saw him who is invisible, encountered him in the Spirit, saw the miracles, signs, and wonders parting the sea before he would come to deliver God's people in Egypt. That's the law of translation. Let Christ first appear to you first before he can appear with you in the splendor of his glory. And the grace to rescue them from the hands of the Egyptians came to him because he had the perfect vision or revelation of the person of Christ. The grace for your marriage can only be brought to you at the revelation. The grace for your job can only be brought to you at the revelation. So you don't need to pray for the job. You need to pray for revelation, because once you have the revelation, then the grace for the job will come. So don't spend your whole day, 40 days, believing God for a husband. No, believe God for the revelation of marriage, and the revelation will bring that husband. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So as you see that revelation, it is you enduring as seeing him who is invisible first, then you can come back and walk those experiences. Now, the Bible says, rest your hope fully upon the grace that is to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 13. So to Moses, the miracles, signs, and wonders were a replay of what he had experienced in the Spirit, because he saw it in the Spirit first, And then he came because he knew how God parted the sea in the spirit. He saw it in the spirit. So when he came back to the earth, back to the physical, he knew exactly. It was a replay to him. So I know of many people who would go to Egypt first and then believe God for the same experiences. They are meant to walk with the people God has sent them. I'll give an example. I know of people who first get married. They first enter into marriage and then they remember to start praying for their marriages. Oh, that's very bad. That's not the order. First endure as seeing him. Revelation of marriage. After seeing it, experience it in the spirit first, then go into that marriage and begin to walk through those experiences with your children, your husband, and your spouse. That's what I'm trying to say, as seeing him who is invisible. So no wonder Moses was not afraid, because he began his ministry with the end in mind. He knew the end from the beginning. He knew how it was going to play, because he first saw it in the spirit. When you see the end of your marriage and you come out of that revelation, you will know how it will finish, and you will finish well, because you know that it is God who has begun a good work in you, and it is God who will bring it to completion. That's exactly what I'm saying. So friends, an experience is all you need, because you become the sum total of the revelation you have of Christ. What's the revelation of Christ? You build your life according to the fashion that you see. You build your life according to what is revealed to you by the spirit of revelation. So revelation is an experience, and you cannot experience God except by revelation. This God is not searched. God is revealed. As you read and study the word, receive not the word as merely spoken truth, but as truth divinely revealed to your spirit, because the gospel is not an assumption. The gospel is a revelation. Yes, you say that you're the head and not the tail. Is that an assumption to you, or it has been revealed to you? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Is that an assumption, or it is truth? Because if it's revealed, then you should be free by now. If you're not free, then it is an assumption. It's not yet revealed to your spirit. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. You want to get married, but are you a woman or you a wife? Who is a wife in the sight of God? You must understand these things. So, with such experiences, God is able to make all grace abound towards you, so you can have all sufficiency to lead a successful life, a fruitful life in all your endeavors, your ministry, your marriage, whatever it is. But you first endure him as one who is invisible. You first experience those very things in the spirit, and then you come on the earth and begin to walk by faith towards the end, because you begin with the end in mind. And for everyone who begins with the end in mind, seeing him who is invisible will endure, will wait patiently, because they know that the best is yet to come. God bless you.